What family medical emergency did your parents refuse to believe until it was almost too late? My sister Vanessa started complaining about stomach pain on a Thursday morning while we were getting ready for school. She was 16 and I was 14, and we shared a bathroom where I watched her double over the sink, her face pale and sweaty. She said it felt like someone was stabbing her in the lower right side of her stomach, but when I suggested telling our parents, she shook her head. They'd just say I was trying to get out of my history test, she muttered, straightening up with visible effort. Our parents had this thing about toughness, about not giving in to weakness or seeking attention through complaints. Vanessa was right, that they wouldn't take it seriously. By lunchtime, Vanessa texted me from her classroom saying the pain was getting worse. She'd gone to the nurse twice, but the nurse just gave her crackers and said it sounded like gas, or maybe her period's starting. I knew Vanessa's period wasn't due for another week because she tracked it religiously in her planner, always prepared with supplies and pain medication. This was something different. When we got home that afternoon, Vanessa went straight to her room and curled up on her bed, hugging her knees to her chest. I brought her water and she tried to drink it, but immediately ran to the bathroom and vomited. The sound of her retching made my stomach clench with worry. Our mother came home from work around 6 and found Vanessa still in bed, refusing to come down for dinner. Mom stood in the doorway of Vanessa's room with her arms crossed, that expression on her face that meant she thought someone was being dramatic. "What's wrong with you?" she asked in a tone that made it clear she expected the answer to be nothing serious. Vanessa explained about the stomach pain and the vomiting, and Mom's expression didn't change at all. "You're probably starting your period," Mom said dismissively. "Take some Tylenol and use a heating pad. You can't just lie in bed every time you have cramps, Vanessa. You need to learn to push through discomfort like every other woman does." I followed Mom downstairs and tried to explain that Vanessa seemed really sick, that she'd been in pain all day and the vomiting wasn't normal. Mom waved me off while pulling leftovers from the refrigerator, telling me that Vanessa had always been prone to exaggeration when it came to minor aches and pains. "She's dramatic about everything," Mom said. Last month, she insisted she had the flu when it was just a cold. The month before that, she claimed she couldn't go to school because of a headache. She needs to stop looking for excuses to get attention and special treatment. I stood there feeling helpless, knowing that arguing would just make Mom more convinced that Vanessa was faking. Dad got home an hour later, and Mom filled him in on Vanessa's situation with an eye roll that communicated her complete lack of concern. Dad went upstairs to check on Vanessa and came back down shaking his head. He reported that she was being melodramatic about normal period symptoms, that she needed to learn pain management skills instead of wallowing in bed. He said when he was growing up, people didn't make such a fuss about routine discomfort. They just took an aspirin and got on with their responsibilities. Mom nodded in agreement, and they both settled in to watch television, like everything was fine, like their daughter wasn't upstairs in obvious distress. I snuck back to Vanessa's room after dinner and found her in worse condition than before. Her face had gone from pale to grayish, and sweat soaked through her shirt despite her shivering under 2 blankets. The pain had intensified to the point where she could barely speak without gasping, and when I asked her to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, she whispered 11. I begged her to let me get our parents again, but she just